What's the difference between the annual interest rate and the effective annual interest rate? When we have an interest rate of, say, 6%, and it's compounded semi-annually, we would normally we do half the interest calculation halfway through the year and do the other half the calculation the other half of the year. So we're compounding it twice a year, so we're going to use half the interest rate. So if the first time we compound is at 6 months, that would be equal to the mortgage times the semi-annual interest rate, giving us a total amount of, for instance, in this example, $100,000 mortgage plus the compounded amount would be at 6 months, we'd have a current amount of $103,000. And then at the 12 months, we would have our second compounding. So it's equal to this times the compound rate. And the total amount of interest at the end of the year is equal to the two amounts. So we can see that it's not exactly 6%. The effective interest rate is equal to the amount minus the initial amount divided by the initial amount. So the effective interest rate is almost 1% more in this particular example. And of course, it will matter based on what the annual interest rate is. We'll look at that in a minute. Let's say the annual interest rate is 8%. Then the effective interest rate is a little bit more than 0.1% difference. So at 6%, it was less than 1.1% at a higher interest rate, the effective interest rate. So this is when it's compounded semi-annually. If it's compounded annually, you would have it exactly the annual interest rate. Let's look at the effective annual rate. Perhaps there is an administration fee that's added. We'll go back to our 6% example. And then if there's an administration fee by the lender, say the lender said I charge a $500 admin fee for whatever reason, the new total amount would be the 609 plus the admin amount, and the effective annual rate would be the new total amount minus the actual amount of the mortgage divided by, so my calculation, divided by the amount of the mortgage. And let me just put this into a percentage with the decimal places. Give me 2 seconds to show that. 2 decimal places. Okay. So if there's an admin fee, it's gone from an effective annual interest rate of 6.09% to an effective annual rate of 6.59%. This is how you would calculate the effective annual rate. You would add all the additional expenses. In this case, we used an example of $500 for an admin fee. This is how you get to the effective annual rate.